So I'm Frank DiTommaso, broker and owner of DiTommaso Real Estate in Staten Island. We have an office in Staten Island and Manalapan, New Jersey as well.
Awesome, awesome. Now, what got you into working into real estate? Because you've had a very successful business for many, many years, but it didn't happen overnight. So can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, well, thank you, Jackie. And I've been in the real estate business for 36 years, but I didn't always start out in real estate. I graduated college, I had a finance degree.
Oh, okay.
Fortunate enough to have a job working on Wall Street, which was a very good experience. Just didn't pay that well. So my mother suggested to get a real estate license, which I did. I had the time. It was a 9-to-5 job on Wall Street, and then I felt there was a good opportunity to work in real estate at night and on the weekends. And that's what I did for a few years until I got into real estate full-time.
So how did you get involved with being a broker? Because there's not that many brokers in Staten Island, and there's not that many brokers in Manalapan, New Jersey.
I guess it was the progression that you could go through sometimes. You know, you can start out as an agent, you get your license, and then you see how you fit in the business. It's not for everybody. When we first get into the business, you come in as an independent contractor, which means you set your own hours, your own schedule, work the business however you want, advertise, you really have your own autonomy. You can do whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of this business. I just liked coaching, I liked training, I liked growing, I liked getting involved with the agents. Yeah. And here we are 36 years later, 100 plus agents. It just developed into that. It wasn't something that I thought it would look like when I first started. I had no idea. I first had to learn the business before I could even think this way.
I love it. You know, I mean, you talk about this a lot, learning the business and having agents. So there's a skill set as a business owner to retain employees, but you also do a lot of training and offer resources. You talk about everything from artificial intelligence to marketing to video content to podcasting, and a lot of, and I don't even want to say competitors, but just a lot of other agencies kind of try, they dip their pinky toe and then they exit out of it gracefully. But can you talk a little bit about some of the training that DiTommaso is offering? Because I just feel like it's such a resource for a lot of new real estate agents first coming in.
Sure, and we do a lot of the things that you just mentioned. I think as a broker, and there is competition. There are other brokers. There are other real estate firms that are larger than mine. But I think what you have to do is find out what's your niche. What works for you? What do you excel at, and continue to improve on that? We do a lot of video marketing. It is the thing right now in real estate. It's about branding, it's about marketing, and we do it every day. You see me, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. I do a lot of it. I try to lead by example. That's the type of broker that I am, and my agents see it. A lot of my agents have engaged in it, as you know. But and then we do a lot of training. It's all about development, helping the agents grow, constantly supporting them. That's what works here with us, with our firm. Our managers, they instill the same ideals. That's what works for us. That's what's been working for us, and that's what's been helping us grow over the years.
I love it. I love it. What makes a great agent? So feel free to answer that any and all ways, but I feel like there's so many things that an agent needs to become a great agent.
Well, the first thing you have to do is really want it. You have to really want it. And it all starts with the interview process. Somebody comes in off the street and says, Frank, I'd like to talk to you. I'm thinking of getting my license. Okay, so we'll discuss it. I'll ask them some questions. Do you have any sales background? And you don't have to have a sales background. That's okay. But I want to hear the answer. I'm going to ask questions like, well, what if it doesn't work? Because if somebody says to me, well, I'll give it a shot. If it doesn't work, I'll try something else. And I know that's a big mistake. It's not going to work. And I want to tell them right then and there, save your money, don't even waste your time. Yeah. However, if they come in and they say, Frank, I have to make this work. I got to make this work. I have to earn. If I see that burning desire, the chances are they're going to be successful. Look, we have some killers in the office. People that they grind it out every day, super successful. And that's the way you have to be. Now, I'm not saying you need to be a killer like some of the agents that we have here. But you do have to be motivated. You have to be hungry and be willing to go after it every day.
And is that something, I don't know if that's something that you can teach an agent, right? It's even in marketing and PR, you always tell people you either have that ambition or you don't. And so do you find that same thing with sales agents, like the ones that have that ambition or the ones that you have to help, like start developing and get motivated? What
it really comes down to is, what's your why? Why are you here in the first place? We can teach skills, and we're very good at that. We can teach, our training consists of skills, learning what's trending in the industry. But why are you here? What's your motivation? What are you doing it for? Is it family? Is it money? Is it accolades? What's your reason why you're doing this? Because that often becomes the driver, what makes you tick, and what determines your success or not being successful.
So in terms of the recession, can you talk a little bit about inventory, and keep it in layman's terms for people so they have an understanding, is the inventory high and low, and what's going on with sales agents? Because even for myself, looking to either sell my home or looking for a second investment, it just seems that interest rates are up and everything's just up. So for someone like me, it makes me not want to get involved until things seem better.
Well, I'm not seeing a recession. I know that's all we hear on the news. Everybody's preparing for the recession. Maybe it's this quarter, maybe it's going to be next quarter, the quarter after. I'm not buying into that. But what I will tell you is this. Does the market change? Yes, it does. I looked at our statistics earlier. We're down in sales now that, as of May of 2023, which just passed,
yeah,
versus the same time last year, sales are down in Staten Island 14%. In New Jersey, they're down 25%.
Wow.
New listings are down in the Staten Island and New York City area. We cover Brooklyn. We do parts of Queens. New listings are down 25%. Same thing in New Jersey. So are we in a recession? No, I think it's mostly driven by interest rates. The business is still there. There's transactions every day. You see people, you do see agents putting listings on. You see deals being made, closings happening every day. But I think the news, the media hypes up this thing about a recession, and we're not seeing it because we are selling houses every day. Just not as many as we were last year, but we are seeing them.
And you'll see a trajectory, of course, of that growth with the sales team as things migrate, interest rates get better, there's more inventory available.
Yeah, there's no doubt the interest rates are the driving force behind the economy, not just the real estate business, but the entire economy. It has affected real estate. Of course, it's an affordability issue. When interest rates hit 7%, which they've been hovering around, they actually hit 7% the end of last year. A lot of the buyers that were in the picture now can't afford the same property that they looked at a year earlier. So there's no question about it. But this is where we are. We're going to be in the 6% range. I recently had a meeting with my agents, and because everybody's always wondering where the interest rates are going to go. This is what we're looking at. This is the new norm, between 6 and 7, in that range. So buyers are beginning to understand that. It's becoming part of their mindset. When there's a shift in the market, when interest rates move so abruptly like they did last year, and it becomes a shock to everybody, people don't digest it right away.
Yeah.
They think, well, maybe the rates will turn back down, or maybe things will change. But no, this is the new way. This is where we're at. They're not going back down to the 3% range. They're not going back down to the 4% range. The talk has been maybe in the high 5% range, but listen.
It's the new norm.
It's the new norm, and to tell you the truth, the interest rates where they are right now, they're not that bad. Between 6 and 7, they're not that bad.
Got it. And one of the things that I think is important to highlight about DiTommaso is we've talked about the training that you provide for your staff, but it sounds like you do a lot of training also for people that are preparing their homes, getting ready to sell properties, and getting them ready to put their properties out in inventory or MLS. Can you talk a little bit about the training that y'all do to help prepare somebody's home and all of that? So
there's so much training that you can do. We bring a lot of that to the agents. We want them to learn as much as they can so they can share it. You know, it's all about communication. It's all about becoming the market expert. We want our agents to learn as much as they can to be able to help people. That's what it's all about. So there's the part of the real estate business where we do our job as real estate professionals, but then there's the other part of the business where we want to educate the public.
Sure.
Not everybody is in the real estate business. So those who want to learn more about how to prepare your house for the spring or summer, how do you prepare your house around the holidays? Some good buyer tips. What should you avoid right before you purchase a property? As a seller, what should you avoid doing when you're selling your property? So people want to have a better understanding of what they can do to be successful, whether they're buying or selling.
Got it. Got it. So we've talked about a lot of training, but one of the things that I think is super important is DiTommaso has been staying ahead of the curve and talking about artificial intelligence and how it can be used to support a sales agent or a brokerage team. Can you talk a little bit about like your top 3 things that y'all been training your sales agents about artificial intelligence?
Yeah, well, artificial intelligence is here to stay. Definitely affected the real estate business, but many businesses, not just the real estate business. And I think artificial intelligence is going to be a huge aid to our business in many ways, which I'll get into. But the one thing that artificial intelligence is not going to replace is that human touch.
Exactly.
We as sales professionals have to interact with other human beings. So artificial intelligence is not going to go that direction because it can't. And I think real estate professionals can feel comfortable knowing that that's not going to interfere with our everyday dealings with people. Now, as far as how it can help us in the real estate business, the information is incredible.
Yeah, all the content.
If you're writing up a property description for a house that you just listed and you want assistance in putting together a narrative about the house, all you have to do is just put in some details about it, ask AI, and it blurbs out this huge narrative that, obviously you can cut it up and make it fit better, but it does the work for you.
I love it.
Sometimes we'll do videos, and John is my video technician. He's doing a wonderful job. And he'll say, Frank, maybe we should change the script to say this instead of that. It might sound better. And he'll ask AI.
I love it.
So, tips like that. Things like, so AI is a huge help. And what we like about it most is its speed. Things happen real quickly.
Instantly. Absolutely. I love AI for the real estate industry because you can certainly, not just the captions, but also if you're trying to find out information about a neighborhood in terms of other property values, what's the types of small businesses that you can support in a neighborhood. And so AI is able to pull that. So it can be super helpful when you're trying to put your descriptions out there. I love it. So I'm going to do a couple of what I call lightning questions. Okay. So would you rather have a top performer who can sell a lot or an agent who you can mentor?
Okay, so when you say mentor, let me make sure I understand the question. Mentor and use the information that we teach them to become successful, or just be a sounding board? Because there's two different things. We have people like that, or we've had people like that. Well, obviously you want the top performing agent, right? That brings a lot of positives to a company.
Sure.
But someone who's coachable, who you can mentor, that takes the information that you give them, understands it, and begins to use it, can be very successful in the business. So obviously, we'll take both.
You'll take both. You'll work with it. Can you give me the top 2 qualities that you love to see in new agents when you bring them on board?
Okay, so you want to see drive. You want to see hunger. You want to hear somebody say to you, I have to make this work. You know they're going to do what it takes to make it happen. This is not an easy business. I think a lot of people are disillusioned. They come into real estate, they want to give it a shot. It looks glamorous on the outside. It's the furthest thing from glamorous. It's a difficult business. And it's all about you, the agent. It's all in your head. Well, I always tell my agents, it starts with your mindset.
Yeah.
If you're determined to make it happen, and you have the willingness to learn, and apply all that knowledge to the business, you can become very successful. And you have to go after it all the time. You can't sit back and wait for business to come to you. It doesn't work that way. I recently did a video saying the way business is perceived, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I turned it around and I said, well, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So going after it every day, making those conversations, the phone calls, the communication, the videos, you know, however you communicate, social media, whatever it is that you do on your daily marketing basis, is entirely up to the agent to do that consistently.
I love it.
And that's what works.
What are maybe 2 opportunities that brokers can have in working with young agents versus working with older, seasoned agents?
I love both. I love the experienced, older, seasoned agents because they bring business to the table. They've been in the business. They understand how it works. We're there more so for support for the older agent. And we bring a lot of value in other ways. You know, we constantly bring training, which no matter how long you're in the business, you always need training because the industry is always trending. It's always changing. And I believe it always changes every 6 months. So the older professionals, I love them. I get along super well with them. Our office is built around a lot of seasoned professionals like that. But as far as the new professionals, they bring a different dynamic. They bring young ideas, vibrant ideas, and there's a willingness to learn new technologies. There's that ability to learn and be sponges of what's trending. A lot of older people are set in their ways. Doesn't mean they're less successful. They're very successful. It's just that they stick with what's been working for years. And sometimes they feel they don't have to look in other directions.
Sure.
And if it's working for them, that's okay. But the young people who are starting out, they come into the business, their brains are like sponges. They want to learn. And you can see it every day. They come in with new ideas, and it's kind of refreshing to see that.
I love it. I love that you're probably one of the only brokers that I know that is open to working with both kind of diverse groups. Because I've seen some brokers that are like, oh no, I only want to deal with young millennials, and I've seen brokers that are like, oh no, I only want to deal with seasoned professionals. But I love that you're like, you need both.
I guess because I can relate to it. I remember when I was young and how I came into the business, a vibrant little chipper. I didn't know anything, but I was willing to learn. Versus now, being in the business 36 years, the big difference between then and now as a seasoned broker.
DiTommaso Real Estate Agents works with mortgage companies, like that process in terms of they do training for finance, because I feel like a sales agent has to do everything. They have to be marketing, they got to be sales, they also got to tell someone how to prepare their home to sell it, but then they also got to talk to them about finance, which is not an easy subject for people to talk about.
Right. Well, being in the business for a long time, having an established agency such as we do, you find that a lot of professionals from related industries like mortgaging, insurance, they come around all the time in business with our agents, and some of them are, you know, and then we have our trusted alliances with mortgage brokers, insurance brokers, and appraisers, and home inspectors, you name it. You know, it's really about the agent developing their team, who they see success with, and the ones who they're most successful with, they stay with. And it just makes sense. They create their own alliances. I'm happy to say a lot of our alliances have been really close with some of the same people that have been with us for many years.
Yeah, I
and
remember
I'm very proud
coming
of that.
into your office, you had a mortgage company in here, an investment team in here, and they're just free, willy-nilly, like giving information and advice and suggestions just to keep your team on board.
Because they're proven, they're trusted professionals. You know, of course, when you have 120, 130, we have maybe even 140 agents now. Lender is going to want to come in and meet all our sales professionals. That's where they get their business from. But I don't allow that. You know, it's been many years of building all that to just give it away like that to people that we don't know as well, or, you know, of course they want to come in here. Of course they want to meet our people. The people who are proven, and we know who they are and they know who they are without saying any names. But they're welcome to come in as often as they'd like. We like them, we trust them. They've done a lot of good things in our business. They've helped our sales professionals succeed with their business. So there's a good chance if they keep doing things right, they're going to be part of us for a very long time. If you're interested in learning more about the real estate business as a career, give us a call today. You can reach us at the Staten Island office, 718-667-8000, or our New Jersey location, 732-851-6500.